Good morning. Amazing day. A miracle occurred. I was given witness to a moment of genius where God delivered in practical means something, a piece of information to me that then genius worked through me that I transcribed and drew that little machine that shows the hammer cocked, ready to fire, and it's created from pure geometry. So the slowing, there's a segment. This little machine that Cliff Pickover has drawn, that draws the infinity symbol, just watch that. And just with your mind's eye, watch where the other points are doing. And you'll see that the scissor arm action has a slowing and an acceleration. That's created by pure geometry. If there are two circles and the action is between the two, there must be geometrically, there must be a slowing and an acceleration. And so I've drawn it with the hammer ready to fire. Yeah? And so there is no unwinding. I've drawn the unwinding one, and that doesn't happen. So it goes 1, 2, 3, the 4, 5, and 6 back again. It doesn't do it. It doesn't need to. That's theoretical. The force of the clamping action at the far end, and that causes a twisting. And now you can see what I was just talking about, the dipoles. So let me explain, if I can, from my memory. I wasn't going to do this. As the hammer fires, imagine that you've wound back in time. Take rest time, this is what I've been saying, take rest time and go backwards using quantum from in a moment duration, Planck's constant, h real seconds. Simple, h real seconds. And you'll see you can pinch point, you work backwards, and now you can go, there's the surface tension as bending and ring tension in concrete water tanks. And you just split them out. The lever arm assembly joins them together. And so you can see how the two are linked. This is what Leve proved. So I can now wind back. So I've now wound back the machine. I pulled it back from where it is. It's a straight line. I pulled it back and I found this thing goes, this one comes out, yeah, from the east axis point. The most important point, the horizontal bar is east. Yeah. Where it slams together on the outside, imagine just two balls. It pushes the two balls past as I've drawn them, just pushes the two balls past each other, but they can only go so far. They can only go along parallel to each other, almost. There's a slight angle if you push two balls together, 137 arc seconds, where one goes past the top one, the north pole goes past the south pole, just that tiny amount. They have different chiralities, and so they're rotating. They power each other. Can you see? Because they're powered pushed together, there's power of force down, and they have different chiralities. What they're going to do is rotate. One will power the other one. They're rotating together, yeah? North and south. And so on the surface, can you see it? Right over there. So the actual fixed point is now that point there, where the clamping is. So the fixed point for the machine, which is at the center, there's two centers. There's the actual road driving force, pin A, and there's the virtual force, pin B, the shear force flow, pin B, fixed point, and that fixed point, pin B, is now there in the surface. And so the strength of the bending is in the surface. And so the twisting there, north and south, that twisting, right, has a polarity, has a pole. And so it goes from the east up to the top, because the pole itself has a mass, has its own vortex energy. And so that twist wants to be at the top, because it remembers. This is the food dye color experiment. The water remembers it's one body. So it's twisting here and it can't unite, and it wants to, because it remembers it's one body, because as it vaporizes, the heat that's built up from the work that's done vaporizes the surface of the two balls, but they're constantly being replicated by the water that's fed into them, and meniscus that's between them. So these two balls actually have water. It's how water gets from the outside of the bubble into our bubble, comes through this. These two balls are clamped together, north and south. They slide around each other. They're contra-rotating, so they power each other, forming any water on the outside will come through, it'll be squeezed. It'd be squeezed into a plasma lens, because the center of where those balls meet, there's a straight line. Where there's a straight line, there's a top and a bottom. Where there's a top and a bottom, there's a center. Where there's a center, there's a weakness. And so a lens shape appears. And water from the outside squeezed into the mass of the universe itself, and ends up here, because it comes enters in the cosmic microwave background on the side that we can't see. So we have a hemisphere of CMB, there's a hemisphere behind us, tennis ball model replicating it. Right? But I haven't shown the north-south line on my tennis ball model yet, because it's anti. Right? So, but it's just what we can't see. We are that light, with that light and temperature of the water entering in the mass, and it's all described by that simple mechanism. And so when that mechanism fires, slam, it forms a straight line, and it just locks there and vibrates. The power of the trigger firing remains firing at the clamping action, because it's rotating. The moment hasn't completed, has it? The bending moment must complete. The moments must balance. M equals 0. No. M equals 0 to the I squared. That the rotation spans the 0 into an entity itself, so that the 0 exists. It's something, not nothing. And all magic comes from that. Brilliant, isn't it? And I believe that's Da Vinci, and I think this is maybe one up on Da Vinci. Who knows? Who knows? But I tell you this, it is the fucking answer, because it's beautiful. When I fire that trigger, I build an eyeball. That's what I'll draw next. Are you ready for the future? I see. Follow the Rebel King.